Thank you. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Sitting Ringside. This is episode number 218. As always, with me, my homies. First off, Joey. I'm gonna give y'all some nicknames. Joey, Bigfoot, Genret.
What up?
Mark, Canada Dry, Ambu Miller.
Canada Dry.
And Rudy the Prophet Lara. And as always, I am Roberto El Jefe Villa. What's cracking, y'all? Man. Well, guys, before we get started with our show, let's give our quick shout outs to HK USA. Go to hkusa.com. Show your support to them as they show support to Fightbook MMA and to Sitting Ringside. Also to our streaming partners, Triller TV, Flow Combat, ESPN Plus, DAZN, and MMA TV. And as always, quick shout out to the promotions that we work with. Just to name a few, I know I can't, it's just hard to remember them all, but they're all in there at the website. Brave Combat Federation, Fight World MMA, XFN, PFL, and the list goes on. AKA, yeah, go check them out. Everybody's out there at the website. Just click the More tab and you'll see who our partners are. Also to Foxhound Fuel, go to foxhoundfuel.com. Click the QR code that you'll see the screen there. And if you're listening to us on the streaming platform, just go to foxhoundfuel.com. Use our discount code FBMMA. You'll get 20% off. You also can check out their individual supplements and see which one you like as well. So yeah, go to foxhoundfuel.com. Also to the fellas, go to johntyler.com. Go to click his website there and use our discount code FIGHTBOOK for also 20% off your purchases. They got some good, comfortable underwear, man. I use them every day, so
they got the cock pocket in the front or no?
Yes.
I need all that.
Yeah.
I use long johns.
Long johns.
Damn, son.
Long johns.
1925.
I wear thongs, so
Long
I don't
johns,
know what I wear thongs.
I wear
You a nasty bitch.
I wear pantaloons.
You damn right I am.
Nasty
I'm a nasty
Canadian over
motherfucker.
Yeah, you're gross, bro.
Nasty.
Also to the bobbleheads, Foco, go to Foco, check them out. Click the QR code; it'll take you straight to the boxing bobbleheads. Go check them out. Awesome guys out there. They support Fightbook MMA like crazy. So go check them out. Also to Elite Sports, go to elitesports.com or click the QR code. There's no discount codes, but just go check them out. They send us randomly some merch, so go check them out. Also to Born Tough, their sister company. They have some good boxing and punching bags and all other kinds of stuff that you can get from them. Rudy has a punching bag, and he loves it for cheap. I mean, what, $60 or something like that?
$60. $60 whole bag setup.
Freaking amazing. And then the other partner, Mr. Rudy.
Don't forget my favorite Shell Shock CBD. Use code FBMMA to get 10% off your first purchase. Keep in mind, folks, you can go and get our hottest selling item, the CBD lube, $34.99. I don't know, man. It's the best.
Everybody loves that lube, bro.
They also have free samples. They're giving away free samples. So if you go to the website right now, you get some free samples in your cart and take 10% off your order. All right, we got our guest Miranda Maverick jumping on.
Hey everybody.
Go. What's up, Miranda?
Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Everybody, let's welcome Miss Miranda Maverick, UFC fighter. She's coming off a win at UFC Vegas 94. Congratulations on your win, Miranda. Thank you for jumping on the show tonight. We really do appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm actually like in the middle of making pickles, my last batch before I go back home to Missouri and have a vacation for a couple weeks. So week of
Hell
work,
yeah.
and then I get to take a little bit of a rest.
That's amazing. I was going to touch on that subject with your side businesses that you have. You got your pickle business. Now you have your honey business.
Yeah.
And our producer, Rudy, over here, he actually tried your honey. So, Rudy,
Okay.
give her your honest review.
I love it. I love it. It's the best honey I've ever had. No, this is the one that I bought, the raw wildflower honey. Scan the QR code. Try it out.
Yes.
I also got the
There we
creamed
go.
honey. It's great stuff. Great stuff. And I got your sour dill. Those are really good.
I'm impressed with these graphics. This is best I've ever seen on an interview. Thank you. Kudos to you.
You're welcome. Hey, that's how we roll.
Hey, I love it. Yeah, just to let everybody
Yeah,
know,
y'all
I
listen
have
to that
11 different
ESPN?
flavors of pickles. I got spicy, I got sweet, I got sour ones. I've got traditional flavors like dill, garlic dill, that kind of stuff. And then the honey, like I literally have my own hives in Missouri. I work with a lot of local beekeepers in Missouri to get more honey because obviously I'm not there 24/7 running it. We only get so much a year. So I work with other local beekeepers, and then the same thing out here in Colorado. So the big difference that people don't understand is even though you see raw honey at stores, a lot of it's filtered, and sometimes those filters take out good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. Sometimes they cook them to go through those filters, which takes all the enzymes that are healthy for your gut and stuff out. This is unfiltered. I've already had one person complain, actually. They were like, I saw a piece of dirt in mine. And I'm like, it's unfiltered. I'm like, this is straight from the bees to you. Like, if the bees got a little bee leg in there, a little dirt, like you're eating it all, you're getting it all, and it's as healthy as
Extra
it possibly
protein.
can be. I love it. And if you have allergies and stuff, it is the key.
It's
Nice.
great.
Well,
It's great stuff.
I'm gonna tomorrow. I will be placing an order. I told my wife about this honey of yours, and yeah, I'm gonna get that one that Rudy got. So
Perfect. I'd say if you order
Yeah.
by tomorrow, I can actually get shipped out before I leave to Missouri. So
sweet. Okay,
What about
I'll
the
be on
pickles,
it.
though?
The pickles
Hey,
are good. The pickles
everybody
are great.
loves them pickles.
See, I'm from the South, dog. We've got a bunch of that stuff around here. So you're speaking my language.
there you go. There you go.
So talk to us about this. Your entrepreneurship. I know you've been doing this since you were 11.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you also have a PhD. I mean, I
have a
impressed.
master's.
And a
I have a long
master's?
story with that. I went to school for my PhD, and they kicked me out because of MMA at the end of the day. Like, it's a long story, but basically they were
we
like,
got
you need to
time.
prioritize school, even though I had straight A's and was a teaching assistant and everything. And they told me to choose. They gave me an ultimatum when I had a student evaluation, and I chose. So I have my master's, and it ended up being the best thing for me. I got a job within 3 days of basically getting kicked out of the program from a fan, like literally a fan that reached out, and now he's my boss. And it's awesome. I work for the Hershey company, the chocolate company, as a statistician using my degree. But then also, of course, I've got my side hustles, my businesses. And for me, that's where it's at. One of these days I'm going to seek freedom. And that freedom to me is being able to control my own time, my own efforts. And if that means working harder
Absolutely.
to be able to do that, I am a hard worker. I'm completely down with that. So that's what I've been doing since 11. I've started my own businesses since then, doing drawing. When I was 11, I started my own LLC. The honey and the pickles, I've been doing the honey since I was about 12. That's when I went out and bought my first beehive and bee nuke and everything. And then as far as pickles, man, I've been doing that since I could walk, been around my family that would garden, and they'd homestead everything from butchering the animals to vacuum sealing food and freezing it and canning and all that. So learned it at a young age, and was making pickles for my family this past Christmas. It was around Thanksgiving time, a little after, and made a story about it. And I was like, doing homesteading things. And I was canning in the background, and people were like, would you sell me a jar? And I had several people reach out, and I was like, this sounds like a lot of work and probably wouldn't make much profit on like a small scale, And so I made like a hypothetical post, and I was like, if I were to start a pickle business, who would buy some pickles? Well, I got tons of feedback within the first hour, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Worst case scenario, I fail. right? And it's like,
True.
who cares? So I always tell everybody I'm the biggest quitter you'll ever meet. And as a result, I've got a lot of success.
How many pickles would you say you sold?
Oof, I don't know. I'm at order number like 650-ish on my website. So I would say I've sold around 900 orders because I didn't have my website for a little while. And then I have farmers markets that add on to that and stuff. So it doesn't sound like much. It's still very small scale, but we're trying to get there. You know, I've started to get them into stores. I'm in about 4 stores now, small ones, you know, little markets and stuff, but I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
Where do you find the time to do everything that you do?
You would think I was nuts if you were around me. Everybody pretty much does. Everybody's like, how much time do you spend on this? And I'm like, I don't sleep. I don't need sleep. It's fine. I'll get sleep older. Of course, when I'm in fight camp, I prioritize the training. I kind of push everything to the side. That's the awesome things about pickles and honey. It's not like they're refrigerated and last a week, you know, like
Right.
I get to make them like today, literally woke up at 7. I've been pickling since 8 a.m., just getting done with the last batch. They've got to sit for 2 hours and then I'll finish them up tonight. And I've done about 120 quarts today. So like it's hard work. I've been like cooking and cutting and doing it all myself. And it's funny, I had a few emails because they ordered during my fight and stuff, right? A lot of people ordered, and I had a couple of people that were like, hey, I put in my order on Saturday night and it hasn't shipped yet. And that was yesterday.
Damn.
And I'm like, the thing is, these people don't understand I'm not Amazon, right? Like
Right.
I'm me.
They probably
like,
think
I'm
that you're like
literally the one
you got a
doing this.
production crew or something.
Yeah. So I messaged them back and I'm like, hi, this is actually Miranda Maverick. This isn't like a person sitting behind a keyboard at a call center. Like I run a very small business. I do everything from scratch myself, from making the pickles to shipping it. I was like, I just got done fighting. I just got home like 8 hours ago. Like I'll get it done as soon as I get it done. And usually they're super nice back. You know, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm starstruck. I didn't know it was just you. So sorry. And I'm like, no worries at all. Just understand, like, even if it's a week, if I have a concussion, if I've got other stuff I got to do, like I'm human too, you know?
What type of artwork or what type of drawing do you do?
It's
Realistic
awesome.
pencil sketches. I don't know if you could pull that up. I don't have.
Yeah,
any
I can
around
pull
me.
some stuff up.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I might be able
Okay.
to. No, it'll take me a second. It's Maverick_masterpieces on Instagram is my art page. I don't have them all on there, but I have a few. Just realistic pencil sketches. I basically take a picture somebody has and I draw it, whether it be of their dog or themselves or family members. And I like to think that I do hyper realistic work and sometimes colored pencil. I actually have one order in right now that I'll be doing for someone that's a picture of him fighting. So, yeah.
You said Maverick_
Masterpieces.
Yeah, look
they're
at
pulling
these.
it up right
These
now.
are awesome.
And I do
Wow,
logos.
that
too
one
for
is
businesses.
dope.
You did this one too?
Yeah, so what I did is I took a picture, I put it in AI, and then I drew the cup and I drew all the blood on and stuff like that. So starting to work
Wow.
with AI stuff too, but everything else is pencil freehand. So
You can
Man,
do
girl.
so much detail with a number 2 pencil and some
yeah,
Q-tip.
right.
Wow.
And you're multi-talented. I wish I
You
could do
are.
everything you do.
I know.
Thanks.
That's
Sometimes
amazing.
it's a blessing in disguise, and other times it's like a curse. You know, I'm like, man, which one do I choose to go after? But drawing for me is like I don't know, like a mind reset. You know, I get to sit
Mhm.
around and just kind of take my time. That's why it gets pressuring sometimes when I'll have a few orders in a row and they're like, are you going to have it done in a couple weeks? And I'm like, nope. I'm like, I told you by this date, that's when I'll have it done. But I usually give myself plenty of time. That way I'm not like stressed to draw. Like I love seeking drawing as like my mental escape from the
Right.
physical efforts and stuff and just my relaxed days pretty much. And that's how I started drawing, is just drawing family members and drawing myself and working on whether it be celebrities or something that I was like, okay, I can sell this one day if I want, but it's also just practice, you know?
You
Do you use a
create
light
things.
board or anything?
I'm sorry.
Do you use a light board or anything like that?
I literally
Just straight on
use
pad?
graphite pencils. I've branched into charcoal and colored pencil as well, and just Bristol pads. And I have bought an art table that does the whole flip up thing to where I can angle it properly, but that's about it. I never really went to school for it or anything. So
I'd rather just draw on a flat surface.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you pick it up? When did you start drawing?
So 11, like when I was 11 is when I made that first LLC. And on that Instagram, if you go and look, I think it's one of the first posts, it shows a self-portrait that I did. And that's what I did when I was 11 years old. Brought it home to my parents. No, brought it home to my parents, and they were like, oh my goodness, like do it again, you know? And it was just a school project. They were like, here, trace this on a window and then learn shading. And I decided not to trace and try my best with it. So, drew
that's not a photo.
Oh, not that one. The one that he just pulled up on the screen.
Oh, I was about to say.
No, this one on the screen is what I did when I was 11. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So just started from there.
That's amazing for being at the age that you were to do that. Like, wow.
Yeah, and it's like other people have the same talent, you know, other people can draw, but for mine it was weird because we never knew I could draw. Like I went from like drawing stick figures and like maybe a horse I'd try harder on every once in a while to being like, hey, look, I can do this. And my family was like, where did this come from, you know? And so I enjoyed it.
Wow, that's awesome.
I do digital art on a Wacom drawing tablet.
Okay, sweet. I haven't gotten into too much of that yet. Like I said, I have the AI and I do the Pro Sketch thing on my tablet.
It is a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, such a learning curve. I just started working with Canva like last week, literally, and I was like, wow, what have I been missing out on? Like, I was on YouTube. I'm sitting in my room after I cut weight on Wednesday night. It wasn't the severe weight cut, so I was still able to function. You know, it was just like the start of the weight cut, and I'm sitting there on the sofa just working on my logo, watching YouTubes to figure out Canva. You know, and I was like, look at me learning.
Yeah. Canva. Do you have the Pro or the
yes.
version? Yeah, the Pro.
Yeah, I got the Pro because I was like, there's no sense in me trying the first one. Like, I might as well go all in. You know, it's not that. Isn't it like 10 a month or something?
It's like 10 something bucks. Yeah.
It's so worth it. I'm like, people spend more on Netflix and crap, and I'd rather learn to be able to produce business stuff.
Yeah. You can make a badass logo on Canva.
Absolutely.
And
so now you're gonna make me download this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Joey, it's freaking amazing. I mean,
because I have
Canva
I use Krita and I use Sketchbook Pro.
Yeah, so Canva, think about putting all those together and being able to format your own labels for like publishing and stuff. Like all the labels from my pickles and honey, and now about to be the Bloody Mary mixes, which I'll show in the next 2 weeks, I think, are what I made on Canva within the last week or so.
Nice.
Yeah. Canva is cool. I use it a lot actually, and you can do a lot of amazing stuff on Canva.
See, I love these kind of interviews because we just get down roads of stuff that's not just the MMA questions.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how our show is.
I like it.
You might get asked a bunch of stupid MMA questions that you probably
I don't know if it's stupid, but it's like every interview is the same.
Right.
You know?
It gets redundant. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, here, I'll send you the questions," and I'm like, "Please don't send me the questions. Just
Whoa,
do
You
it."
already know the answers before they even ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do like 2 of these a week. Just talk to me. I got it.
The only art I ever get to do is with my daughter. She loves to do like all sorts of painting, and she's just out of nowhere, and she does really well. She's only 5, so I think I just got to keep pushing her to do it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, dude.
Who motivated you to be such a go-getter?
Me, I would say my dad, but my whole family, we were raised in an environment, you know, out on the ranch where it's like you get up in the morning and you wake up with the sun and you work, because if you don't work or you don't take care of things die. Like you really want to. You know, my dad gave me bottle calves, and it's like you don't feed them, they die. You don't take care of them morning and night, they die. It's your fault. You lost money, you lost effort, and you killed something. And it's like we learned responsibility.
Damn, Dad put that bad juju on you. Shit.
Hey, we learned responsibility, you know.
Right.
And I think
it's
baby
cow.
missing from people of my generation, from people upcoming now. It's like there's such an entitlement attitude. There's no sense of responsibility. People think that they're working hard or having to do so much because they took out the trash for their parents in a week, you know.
Right.
Like, you guys have no idea. I remember being young, and I'm glad I was raised the way I was, but I remember being young and these kids would tell me about getting allowances. And I was like, what do you do? you know? And they're like, I do dishes and I take out the trash and I even fold my clothes sometimes. And I remember getting bold enough, you know, I was thinking in my own mind, I'm like, dang, I do a lot more than that. You know, I was like, man, I wonder if my dad would give me an allowance. Like, I'm going to go ask him. And I was real nice about it, right? But my dad's a man's man, you know, like he's not a over. And I was like, hey, Dad, can I talk to you about something? He's like, sure, hon. Like, what? And I was like, what do you think about maybe me getting allowances? And he was like, allowances? And I was like, yeah, these kids we're talking about, and they don't do hardly anything, Dad, but I do a lot. Like, what do you think? And he's like, well, your allowance is your food. You have a pretty nice bed. He's like, in fact, you have pets, you have animals, you have fresh milk, you have eggs. He's like, what more do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I'm grateful for everything. Never mind, you know. And I was like, But
sorry for asking, Dad.
Exactly. But as I got older, my dad was really fair. You know, he's like, if we worked extra hard, you got the money. You didn't ask for it. He didn't tell you about it. But I remember the first big sum of money he gave me, I was 12 and nobody reported him to the cops. Okay. But I was like 12 and I was driving the tractor and brush hogging the whole, like, probably 300 acres worth on my own, you know? And it's like,
Holy
most
shit.
people would say like,
job.
you're not supposed to sit on the chair even at that age, but I was going, I got it done. It was raining, it was storming. I was scared, but we got it done. And I get done the next day. He comes with 300 $1 bills to make it look like more, feel like more for a little kid, you know? And he gave it to me and it's this full envelope, you know? And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in the world. And things like that would happen over time, you know? And we'd get 300 there, 200 there. When I helped build fence, he gave me like $3,000 because I was working like a man, you know? I literally was working like a farmhand. And I tell people, I'm like, I've had muscles my whole life. Like there is a reason for it too. Like we were.
I bet you watch that show Yellowstone. Like them people ain't shit. They ain't got shit on me.
I do watch that show and go, seriously, this is what they're gonna make people think ranches are like. Like, come on.
I remember waking up. I'd have to feed the hogs, had to feed the horses. You know, make sure they had hay. And then by the time my brother woke up, he had to turn the horses loose out of the barn. You know. And, yeah, we never asked for our parents for an allowance. And, you know, I played football, so you know, it was time for me to get new cleats, and you know, my dad went in there and you know bought 100. You know, I wear a size 15, so trying to find cleats in my size were hard. You know, my dad went there and he paid $120. This is what I'm about to date myself. I looked it up that you were born the year that I graduated high school.
Oh God,
so before you were born. But yeah, he bought $120 cleats back then. I was like,
that's incredible.
I
Wow.
ain't asking my daddy for shit.
I have a funny story about shoes with sports too, actually. My dad was big about if I wanted to do sports, then it needed to be because I was going to get a scholarship for college. Right. So that's a reason, like, as I got into jiu-jitsu, no other sports were around because I was like, I'm not going to college for it. If I know that, I'm not going to do it, you know, and waste my time. And I know that's a weird attitude to have as a kid, you know, but I was very goal oriented, raised very goal oriented. And it's like, if it's not helping further yourself, what's the point in doing it? And I ran track for a while and was really good at it. Like I would place in state and stuff. And when I first started, I was a long distance runner and they were like, you need shoes that don't weigh like 3 pounds each, you know, because I'm just wearing the regular whatever Walmart has kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
And they're heavy and stupid and men's shoes that I'm wearing as a girl because that's what we got. And I was so embarrassed because I was not going to ask my dad for more shoes because it's like, I have shoes. He already gave me shoes. I don't need more shoes. Like we weren't rich kids growing up or anything. And now we have a ranch and stuff and people are like, oh, you're rich. And it's like all the money's in the ranch. Like that's what people don't understand. It's a constant struggle for years and years. It's cattle. If anybody notices, cattle aren't exactly the highest gross income, you know, like they're the same price they were back in 1980 and people are still whining about their food prices. Like,
right.
You know, but I remember getting shoes because the whole team like pitched in and the coaches like volunteered to get it. And my dad was like, why didn't you? He was like embarrassed, you know, and he was like, why didn't you just ask me? And I was like, I already had shoes and I didn't need them. And he was like, okay, well, just ask me next time. Like, that's ridiculous. And so I ended up getting cleats too. And he went and like bought me some nice ones at like Academy Sports, I think it was called in Springfield, Missouri.
Academy Sports. Woo, I remember when those stores were around.
Shit, we still have them here in Jacksonville.
Do you?
Yeah, we got them here.
Oh,
Yeah, we got them down here.
We don't have them here.
Shit, that's a place to go.
Yeah, right.
It's like the Walmart of sports stores.
Oh man.
So Mark is asking Miranda if she believes in the paranormal.
I believe in them to the extent of I think that there are demonic spirits. I think there are heavenly spirits. I'm a big Christian. I think that there are things out there that influence this world. I don't necessarily think they're aliens. I think we have a bunch of spirits of confusion and stuff like that that are around in this world.
Agree with you 100%. Roberto's a bit of a ghost hunter. He's a ghost buster.
There's been a lot of unexplainable things that have happened in my life, lives around me. But once again, I think there's purposes behind those. I think there's spirits working behind the scenes in our favor and against our favor a lot of times. Like my little brother, I don't know how much you guys follow me or how well, but the fact he didn't die this past year was incredible. He had a terrible car wreck. Like the police, the ambulance, all of them were like, he should be dead. He should be decapitated right now. And he got out. He was literally walking around when they got there, had a terrible concussion, didn't remember it or anything, but he was from the crash completely unscathed as far as like no limbs torn off, nothing like that, just several cuts and stuff of that nature. But the car was completely crumpled and like just his seat was the only thing intact, and even his headrest was ripped off.
My
so
goodness.
he must have like went down at just the right time for the semi to go right over his head. Like crazy. Like
that is crazy.
God was
divine intervention.
For sure.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a lot of that lately.
We need it.
A lot of that. We need it. We need it. This world's gone mad, absolutely insane.
Absolutely.
It has.
I'm gonna put on my glasses, gonna show my own terribleness. I'm like seeing some comments and stuff. Howie asked if I thought about dabbling in making maple syrup. Well, I don't exactly have the background in that, but maybe one of these days, I've got plenty of honey syrups and flavored honey I'm gonna be working on first.
Leave it to the Canadian to ask about maple syrup. Wow, Mark.
Have you ever thought about drinking Canada Dry? No, nobody does.
So how does it feel knowing that you're like a role model, a lot of young women out there?
Man, that's part of my inspiration. It's one of those things. I say it quite often. It's like, I never dreamed to be here. I never had this as a goal when I was young. I told you I was very goal oriented, and being a professional athlete or fighter was never on the radar. Even as it happened, I was still like living in this state of, this isn't real, like this is crazy. Like I look back now and I'm like, man, like 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years, like I wouldn't have ever thought that I'd be where I'm at. Like, especially, I feel way younger than I am, of course, which I'm sure everybody experiences that. And it's like, man, me being 18 feels like yesterday. And I remember stepping into the cage the first time and being like, this will be fun. I'll do this once. And it's like, maybe I'll do good and I'll do it a few times. I don't know. Maybe I'll be good. And I get in there, I win, and I was like, okay, this is the most addicting feeling I've ever had in my life. Like, I'm good at this. I knew I would be pretty good at this. Let's keep going. And then I get in there and have my first pro fight, and it's another huge leap of, holy crap, I'm really here. I'm making my first dollar at fighting, and then my first UFC fight, and that was elating, like there was nothing like that, because it was my first hint of, holy crap, I made it. I'm here. This is what I've been working my butt off for 5 years straight, being a poor waitress, making every dime count, and going to school at the same time, full time, and working hard to make it to the UFC. And then finally got there. And, people don't even realize, like most UFC fighters, when we start out, we don't make nothing. Right. Like 50% easy gets paid out to coaches and managers at the very beginning, right? Then there's the taxes.
A lot of people don't.
It's like I walked home with $5,000, I think, my first UFC fight. And I won, and I had like a big finish fight. It's not like they're like, here's $100,000. Like that didn't happen, right?
So I got, since we're talking about MMA now, I got two questions.
All right.
So how did it feel the first time you got a clean knockout?
I haven't had one yet. I know that's pretty sad and depressing. I had a clean TKO. But I have not had an actual knockout.
Close enough.
I will say as a female and being a 125er, it is very hard to get a knockout, you know, and people are like, oh, boring. And I'm like, well, we're fast and we hit hard. It's just, we don't have quite the weight behind us to just knock somebody's head in. Because if you think about it, we have the same size skull and the same brain in there as the big heavyweights. And yeah, they knock each other out, but they also have fists like 5 times the size of mine and weigh 3 times as much. So it's hard, but TKO,
You're talking about Derek Lewis, aren't you?
I mean, you know who I grew up going, how in the hell is he in the UFC? Was Roy Nelson.
Oh yeah, Big Country.
Yes.
Yeah, I literally, as a kid, I was like, no. And then he'd do a backflip. I remember him doing a backflip one time. And I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. Maybe this is the Matrix. I don't.
He's like one of the most underrated fighters just because of the way he looked.
Yes.
That's what I don't get, dude. I'm 300 pounds, right? But I'm 6'6". I don't know how tall Roy is, but I don't have nowhere the belly that he does. And I used to watch him like, how in the hell does he make weight?
Beer. Oh, how does he have? I thought you were saying how big? How does he have a belly that big? But
oh, I know how he's got a belly.
Beer, dude. Cheeseburgers.
Dude, sponsored by Burger King. Well, the second question I had was, how is it being around Dana?
I've only really talked to him twice in like an actual conversation, and a couple other times where he's like talked to the fighters in the back, you know, before we go out there, and is like, go out there and put on a performance. Dana's Dana, you know, it's like he kind of goes with whatever the money is, you know, he'll say one thing one time and people are like, yeah, I love it, he's got his opinion. And then the next week it's a total different thing he says because that's the way that the media is going, you know? So he's a businessman at the end of the day. It is what it is, you know? It's like, yeah, he stands for what he believes in. It's like, bullshit. No, he doesn't. He changes it every other week. So, you know, I get paid by Dana, so it is what it is, but it's not like he's ooh, I met Dana. Like, I've always found the whole celebrity thing silly, which I know is silly considering I am often seen as that. But I've never been like a big fangirl of stuff, and like the whole, yeah, he runs a promotion. He's a businessman, ripping people off all the time, but also made a successful promotion is like, cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
You know how after, what was it, 300 that he bumped all the purses?
Yeah, it was UFC 300. Yeah.
Yeah. The fight bonuses. I was like, what?
Dude, I've said from the get-go that the pay-per-views, those bonuses should be easily 6 digits. And then you save your 50,000s for, you know, fight nights. Man,
I'd be happier if they didn't put so much on fight bonuses and just paid fighters more to begin with. All right. That's where I'm standing.
Yes.
Like, we don't even get paid. Say my opponent drops out 2 days before I fight, I don't get paid a dime. I get sent back home. I still have to pay for all my medicals, and it's like, cool. I lost money. Preparing.
But as long as you guys get on the scale and make weight, you'll get your show money, right? Even if the fighter
but if
pulls
they
out,
were to drop out before weigh-ins,
then you don't get paid.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, maybe if it's the night before. Like, I've had an opponent drop out the night before, and I'm like, dude, you already knew I was on weight. Sent picture and everything. And they're like, okay, we'll give you your show money, right? But if it was 2 days before, they're just like, sorry, sucks.
Yeah, it's BS. Total BS. We've had a lot of fighters come on the show and talk about that.
Shorts.
Right?
Right. I know. I was just talking to a friend about that today. It's like, how do you feel about the Venom versus sponsors? I'm like, well, I'd make a shit ton more if I just had sponsors, but this is what it is. You know, they don't even like us shouting out people after the fights. If you watch my fights, I do the whole stake.com shout out, and I'm like, listen, I'm here to make my money. All right. You can
DC didn't want to give you the mic. DC didn't want to give you the mic. He took it away from you. He's like, all right.
I was going to do it. And I'm like, come on, DC. Come on.
That was hilarious.
Appreciate it. Like, I gotta get my 2 cents in, get my business advertising. You know, I can't just rip the mic away. I don't want to talk about my fighting. I want to talk about who I am.
Have your parents like gone to any of your fights?
My dad's in my corner every time. You've seen him on my fights. You just probably don't know it's my dad. Yep.
I did not know that.
My dad is, I shouldn't say always. He's missed 2 of my fights out of my whole career. I've had 29 fights. So that's a pretty good set. He hates traveling, and he, you know, hates it all except for the fighting and being there for me. So I'm glad that he shows up and is there.
Is he a grumpy man?
No, not at all. He's the most charismatic person in the room, but he also loves being behind his locked gate on the ranch. He has his social time, and then he's fine with not talking to anyone for 4 months.
Sounds like a man's a man, like you said.
She's out here beating these girls up, and she could be back at the farm tending them damn cows.
No, my dad has been so supportive of me going into fighting, but he does like to say that he's technically the flyweight champion of the world because I can't touch him.
So what's your dad think of your pickles? Does he like your pickles?
So what's the funniest thing is, we're not huge fans of pickles. Like my family's not like, oh, we snack on pickles all the time. Like my dad's like, can't you make chocolate or like something we like? And I'm like, no, this is healthy.
Something we like.
Nobody like digs into all my stuff all the time and makes me lose money. Okay. Like since I started the honey business, everybody's been like, can you bring some home? Can you give me a bottle? And I'm like, no, see, this is the problem. You guys all like this. And I'm going to end up losing money because of it.
You ever thought about making cheesecake?
Beef jerky, man.
Oh boy. They're building a Buc-ee's close to me, son. I'm gonna be hitting that thing up for pounds of jerky.
Are they making a Buc-ee's in Florida?
Bro, we got a couple of them.
Oh, you got a couple. I didn't know that.
Buc-ee's is really expanding. I feel like they're the new trademark. You know where they need it? Don't take my idea, okay? They need it in the middle of Kansas. There's like this stretch of I-70 between Flag, Colorado, and Hayes, Kansas, with no gas station, no nothing.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
A 4-hour stretch of people just like, no gas? I'm stranded. Like you see it all the time. And I'm like, I wonder if there's laws maybe in that area, like in those counties that are like, we do not want a gas station here. We don't want the pollution along the road. I don't know, because there's no way somebody hasn't like bought land there and been like, I'm building a gas station. I'm going to be a millionaire. Like, I don't know.
That still would be a good idea though, because you can put that gas station right in the middle, 2 hours in.
That's what I'm saying. Steal everybody's business. And Hayes, Kansas is a little hole in the wall too. You could build it right in Hayes.
Have you ever heard of the Tail of the Dragon? It's a road that stretches through the Appalachian Mountains. They call it the Tail of the Dragon because it's like 200 something curves within a couple mile period, right? And there was no like tire shop or mechanic shop or anything, right? A buddy of mine, he bought one. Or he bought a building, and that's what he did. So he's the only tire shop, because people take their race cars and shit up and down this thing, motorcycles, and there's nowhere to have if you wreck or anything, there's nowhere to have your shit fixed or get a new tire. The dude making a killing doing that.
Wow.
Good for him.
So there's no way that you can't tell me that somebody hasn't thought about putting a gas station in the middle of nowhere. There's got to be something stopping.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a law or something happening. Like, there's surely been people like been like, okay, I'm doing this. I might answer some of the questions on the side quick if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
They asked me, how do you feel about the way women's MMA is promoted on both a regional and big stage? I think they do a decent job. Obviously, it doesn't get as hyped as much as the men a lot of times, but there's still women on the main cards. There's still women running the cards. There's still women getting paid equivalently to the guys. I think there's a lot more guys that go out there and talk crap and get the crowd going and stuff, but I think that's part of it. I mean, at the end of the day, there's biological differences and just differences in aggression and stuff, and a lot of people love the blood and the knockouts, and like I already said, like it's a lot easier for the guys to get that, and therefore they get a lot more hype. And as far as women's MMA versus men's in general, I'm going to say something that people will probably be like, oh, how dare you? But I think women's MMA is a lot easier to succeed than men's MMA. And
how dare you?
I know. The women are like, oh, how dare you insult us like that? And I'm like, we all know it's true. Why are we even acting like it's not? Like, we have 1/10 of the competition that the guys do. Like, I became a pro just purely from being like top 50%, maybe. Like, you just have to be better than like half the girls and you automatically become a decent pro. Then you have to be better than 50% of those to get into a height where you can even make a little money, and then to get in the UFC, I'd say you need to be top 5%. And then where I'm at, I'd say top 1 to 2%. Where the guys, I'd say it's top 5% just getting to be a pro. Then it's top 1% to ever even get seen by the UFC. So it's very hard. And the guys have a lot bigger turnover rate than the women do because there's more of them that get ran through the roster. There's more of them waiting in line going, let me in.
Right.
Let's see. And then the other question is, was quite a fight the first go around? Would a rematch with Jasmine be something you're interested in? So the funny part of that is, if you guys watched the Rose versus Tracy fight, I don't know if you guys knew, but I was supposed to fight Tracy, right?
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tracy got pulled up to fight Rose, which was a whole thing. Like, Tracy apparently didn't want to do the 5 rounds in Denver because of elevation, blah, blah, blah. So there was a lot of negotiating back and forth, even though she wanted to lie out her teeth and say she took it right away. They reached out to me, Rose's team, which I literally trained with her whole camp, which was the funniest part. And they were like, hey, if this doesn't go through, would you fight Rose? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go. Like, let's do it.
That would have been awesome.
I know, that would have been talked about. Obviously, we had trained like the day I got called about the Tracy thing, so it was hilarious. I was like, I mean, I'm down if you're down. I'm happy to do a main event anytime, anywhere. So that almost happened. The Tracy fight almost happened. And then the next few days, when Jasmine's opponent dropped out, I got called again. And they're like, would you move up a week and fight Jasmine? And I was like, this has been such an emotional freaking fight camp. And I told them, I was like, sure, if you want to pay me an extra 10 grand. I was like, I've already paid for an Airbnb. I've already paid for flights to Vegas. I've already paid my medicals in Vegas. Dude. And I pay taxes in Denver where I don't pay taxes in Vegas. Why would I change it a week early to where I'd have to cut weight the day they told me to get no benefit from it whatsoever? And they were like, yeah, well, we're not paying extra money. And I was like, all right, sorry, not doing it. So it's funny. I'd be happy to do a rematch if that was ever a choice.
That's so scummy.
So I got hurt. So
that's so scummy that they make you guys pay for all of that on your own. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, they pay for 2 flights. It's just, if you want more than one corner, then you're kind of screwed, you know? And then the medicals, it's like, oh yeah, we cover it. And then you find out it gets pulled out of your pay at the end of the fight, and it's like, so you don't cover it. You just cover it then.
So have you fought in other countries?
Yeah, I fought in Abu Dhabi, my very first fight with the UFC at the Fight Island.
That's right.
And I fought Jasmine actually in Canada, and that's it. I almost fought in Manchester for this upcoming card, but they moved it.
Do you watch the UFC fights? Do you watch these events?
Not as much as fans do, honestly. Like, I watch some of the big ones. I watch when I have teammates or friends that are in it. Sometimes I don't even make it to those. I have to watch it afterwards, but I do my best to keep up. But when people are like I have interviews, sometimes they're betting line interviews, and they're like, what do you think of this main event? What do you think of this? And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not an expert in all the fighters. Like, I have so much going on in my life. I pay attention to my division and my fights. Like, I couldn't even tell you until the night of who the main event of my card was that I just fought on. I was like, I'm so focused on my fight. I don't give a crap who else is on the card. Like, I'm there to fight. That's it.
Does Dana give y'all like the sneaky link so y'all can watch it for free?
No, we don't do that either. We don't even get UFC Fight Pass for free.
Bro, they take the fighters out of the arena. Like, they if you don't have a ticket, they'll escort you out.
Yeah, I was at the Apex this time. I didn't get to stay and watch fights, nothing. They kicked my family out right after my fight was over. Like,
bro, that is hot garbage.
There's a lot of myths about how the UFC is. They treat the top 5 fighters or the favorites pretty solid, though.
Yeah.
Shake your booty enough on Instagram as a girl. I guess you get a lot of hype.
Yeah, I got some dirt. I got some dirt that I cannot say about what goes in and out of the UFC in the back.
Say it.
No,
we don't work for UFC, dog. Let it ride.
No, I made a promise. I'll tell you guys off
Tell
air,
me off air.
Yeah.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
I'm not lying.
All right, I always ask UFC fighters this and ex fighters, when you got that first paycheck, that first big paycheck, what was the first thing you bought? Please don't say another cow.
Oh no! I was a lot smarter.
I bought more pickles.
Listen, something. I'll tell a little backstory real quick. Something I agreed with my dad with when I first got my first ever paycheck, like my whole $200 from Invicta when I had my first pro fight. I told my dad, I was like, any dime I make from fighting, I will never put toward my lifestyle. Meaning I'm not going to pay for gas with it. I'm not going to pay for food with it. I put it towards investments. I put it towards furthering myself. So that money that I got from my first fight was actually spent on a house, basically back home. Our house burnt down like a year before I turned pro. And so I put all my money I'd ever saved as a kid, and then my first 2 years, I think, of fight income towards building a house, which then my dad later helped pay back. And then I was able to save my money and buy land with it eventually. But yeah, my first paycheck went towards building infrastructure of a house for my family to live in.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, I hope my daughter is like
Dude,
you.
I'm thinking the same
That's
thing.
awesome.
Let my daughter up. Come here. Come here, listen.
You need to listen to her.
You should do like TED Talks.
Man, I'd be happy to. I want to be a commentator is what ideally would happen, like an analyst like John Anik is. But I also love the whole public speeches. I've actually talked at several schools and stuff in the past. And it's funny, the last one wanted me to talk about, and I don't know, might get in trouble for this one too, but the last school wanted me to talk about the importance of education and how it's helped me get to where I am. And like they meant education as in high school degree, college degree. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be a very good talker for that. I was like, now I can speak about success and working hard and how that helps and education can help. I was like, but I am not going to tell them that getting a high school diploma and college degree is their route to success. Like, I don't believe it. I don't think that's right. And in fact, I think nowadays that a college degree is damn well worthless. Like it's what it was 20 years ago. It's the same thing now. I mean, the government's paying for people to get it pretty much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Big
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys know a spot for me to come talk, I'm happy to do it.
Always.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out and see if anybody is looking for a public speaker out here in Albuquerque.
All right, solid. I teach seminars too, so I got it all. I go and do that when I can.
You should come teach over here at the not at Jackson Wink, because they have,
yeah, they're too big. They got too many people.
Yeah, they got too many people. But Fit NHB, they have a small gym. Well, it's medium-sized gym. Right now they're at where they're at right now, but they're actually looking to get a bigger building. But
message me the details. Cool. I'll reach out to them.
I will. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I
got a spicy question.
The gym owner actually puts MMA events, and those sell out. I mean,
perfect. Maybe he'd let me commentate for them and do some little interviewing in the cage or something.
Get your feet wet.
Okay.
I'd say I already do it quite a bit with regional shows.
I just
haven't gotten to the big show yet, so I'm hoping that comes soon.
Right on.
So my spicy question is: would you fight a transgender like Fallon Fox?
I would if the number was right. I don't want to. I think it's wrong, and I'd have a lot of frustration going into it. I definitely want to beat their ass, but I'd do it if the money was right. It's like the whole question of, would you get punched in the face by Mike Tyson for $1 million?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would.
I would.
I'd get beat up, no problem, for that much money. I'd be like, hit me. And then I get hit once, I'd tap the floor and be like, done.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hell, Keith Jardine, last week we was talking about, man, it don't hurt that bad to get punched in the face.
Yeah, it's like you're out. I mean, hey, you get knocked out, You're just laying there waiting to wake up.
Keith said it's worse to get kicked in the legs repeatedly.
It depends on how hard you're getting hit in the head. I could argue that one. Now, knee in the head, that one's rough.
Speaking of being kneed in the head, did you see the new rule set?
Yeah, I did. The elbows.
Yeah, there's the 12-6. You can knee the opponent on the ground.
Is that one across all unified rules? I think that one's still state commission for the knees.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, you're right. The state commission.
But the elbows are taken out. Yeah, because it's stupid anyway. Like, are you going to be like, no, I think it was straight up and down. It was right? Degrees to the right. It's like, nah, you can't.
You were like this. Not like
and it's
this.
like, you're telling me, my problem with it is you're telling me we can knee someone in the head, but we can't elbow down while they're like on the ground. I'm like, that's just silliness. So it's a rule that nobody's really went by anyway. I've never seen a fight get stopped and disqualified because of a 12-6 elbow. So
John Jones.
Oh, okay.
That's his only one loss.
Back or top of the head though.
It's like
I think it was
forehead.
I think it was if you hit here or back, no matter what elbow it is, you're disqualified.
Right. You're disqualified. I think
So
that's
I
what you
can't
did.
remember. I thought it was just an elbow to the top of the head, but I could be totally off. Maybe it was the 12 to 6.
Well,
Let's
there's
see, Rudy.
articles out here saying the new rule change could see John Jones' only UFC loss overturned. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's
They're
not
going to
how that
I've seen
overturn
that
his
a lot.
loss. That's ridiculous.
That's not how that works. Untrue.
That's dumb.
If that was the case, then my robbery against Macy would be overturned. Okay.
Right?
Ooh.
Oh, run it back.
Yes.
And I've been trying for let's see, it's been 3 years.
She ducking you. She is.
The
ducking
matchmakers are having her duck me.
you. Yeah.
They tend
Damn.
to do that.
It's like literally been told to me. They're like, that's not gonna happen. I'm like, okay.
They're just babying her. That's all it is.
Yep.
Putting her
I
on
have
a
the
pedestal.
Star Girls.
Well, do you guys have anything else for Miss Miranda?
No, just
the
want to
best?
thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Man, you guys can check me out on, hit my own computer. You guys can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Fear the Maverick. It's just my nickname with Maverick on the end. Fear the Maverick. Make sure it's spelled right because there's some scammers out there trying to get to you guys.
Mhm.
Or you can message me via my website. So my website is prowlerpickles.com. I also have fearthemaverick.com if you guys want to check out merch, memorabilia. And I'll actually be posting a few fight things that I have left over on my stories and stuff. So keep an eye out the next day or two, and I can get it to you guys.
The reason I ask is because I think you are a huge inspiration for females and young women. And, I wouldn't mind reaching out to you through Instagram, whatever, and maybe have you, message my daughter. Because I'm thinking about putting my daughter. She's 7. I got 7-year-old twins, 1 boy, 1 girl.
Wow.
I'm thinking about putting her in jiu-jitsu.
I think it's the perfect timing for it. I just got done. It's funny that you said that because I just got done talking to one of the security guards at the UFC. She was talking about her daughter, and she's 5. And she was like, maybe, striking, maybe karate. I was like, please don't ever say karate to me again. I was like, listen, jiu-jitsu is where it is at, especially for girls. And I say that just because I think that it's very important that we know how to defend ourselves in this world. And guys too, honestly. But I think for women especially, like, you need to have some base of self-defense.
Right.
You may not get away every time. There might be 2 attackers. There may be weapons involved, but it at least gives you a foundation to where you're more aware in general. Like, I think it helps with life in general, and that awareness, and a kid especially learning their own body, knowing how to move, the hand-eye coordination. There's nothing like knowing how every muscle in your body works by doing jiu-jitsu. And I've taught kids for a long time in jiu-jitsu. I think that gives a lot of credit to where my jiu-jitsu skills came from, is teaching children. It's like, you do not know how to teach jiu-jitsu until you've taught a class of 4 to 7-year-olds. It's like, you have to know every detail. You forget to tell them to move their left finger a certain way, they're messing up the whole move. Like, that's how it works. And so I think it's really important. Yeah, right, exactly. And it's like really important to do that. But they also learn a lot of discipline, and also learn, like, you make them scared a little bit first. I guess it's kind of like parenting. You got to have some respect from them first, and then you can have all the fun with the kids, And jiu-jitsu is the way to go, though. I think if you want to get them in striking, great. But as soon as they get taken to the ground, which 90% of kid fights do, they don't know what to do, right? They have somebody sitting on top of them, bigger, stronger, and get beat up, just like people do as adults. Females, when they're attacked, I think in 2022, it was 84% of attacks on females were taken to the ground within 5 seconds. Duh. What are they going to do? Like, no women know how to get up. No women know how to get out. And when I do my self-defense classes, I'm like, this is pitiful. Like, when women are like, oh, I know how to fight. I'm like, cool, come here. On the ground. And I'm serious. I do this with them because every once in a while I'll have some ghetto girl or some girl that thinks she's tough come in, and they're literally there to mock me as I'm teaching. It's rare, but it's happened 3 times probably. And I'll be like, all right, I've been through this shit before. Like, lay down. And they're like, why? I'd never get there. And I'm like, fine, stay standing, fight me off. I was like, you can hit me in the face, go. If you hit me, I'm happy for you. And like I take them to the ground, I get on top of them and mount, I hold their hands there, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Get up.
Quit hitting yourself.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, I'm 140 pounds. You're 170. Like, get up. I'm not a guy. I'm not that strong.
Damn, she called her weight out too. Come here, Biggin. Come here, Biggin.
and it's like they just don't have a sense of reality. A lot of people don't. Men too, you know, they'll come into the gym and they'll be these big tough guys.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I know how to fight. I've been in so many fights in my life. And it's like, dude, you don't even know. And that's when you get like a purple belt female sicked on you by the coach, and he tells them to ask and see if you have so much of an ego that you'll leave and never come back, or if you'll stick through it and understand and learn.
Yeah, that's a humbling experience.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Well, Miranda, this was a lot of fun. You know, this is the type of podcast that we do. You know, we don't really stick to the usual fight questions. So
yeah, I like it. I like it.
We just no. We a lot of people that jump on our show. This is just like just hanging out with just a bunch of dudes. You know. Whatever. Thank you, Miranda. Hopefully we can get you back on the show again sometime in the near future, and I will be placing my order tomorrow.
Hey, please do. All right. Everybody place your orders. It's proudlypickles.com.
Scan the QR code.
Scan the QR code. And if you guys also want to check out merch or memorabilia, it's fearthemaverick.com as well. So thank you guys.
You got 3XL talls?
I can order anything for you. I think I have up to 2XL in most of my stuff. I have 5X up to 5XL.
So you don't have man size is what you're telling me.
Hey, listen. I said I had up to 5XL in some of my sizes. You need to wait a second.
Hold on. You got circus tents too?
Yeah.
Bro, she would put you on the ground.
I've been in 0 street fights. You can't take me down.
You know what's funny is when you said that, I've had somebody that orders 5XLs for me sometimes, and he's always like, "You've only got stuff for children. You don't have anything for real men." And I'm like, dude. I'm like, okay.
That's him.
No, I'm the tall. I'm the tall.
Yeah, right.
Well, I can't do that. I
won't even talk crap. Never mind. I won't even get into it. But I think I can get you.
I see these thumbs.
I got a few of those.
These thumbs are undefeated online now. I'm undefeated in lip scarring.
Just my hand would be stuck inside. I wouldn't be able to. Arm wrestled back in my day, though. You know.
Hey.
Easy.
Oh shit! Guys. All right, Miranda. Thank you so much. I'll keep in touch with you, and let's get you back on the show soon.
All right, sounds good.
It's great talking to you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miranda Maverick. That was a lot of fun, guys.
What an awesome question. Yeah, that was a lot of fun talking to Miss Miranda. I'm glad she was able to jump on before her vacation and a week after her fight. That's amazing. So quick shout out, scan the QR code, go to her website, look her up on Instagram, Facebook.
I'm about to put my order in. Hold on, cuz.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, bro. It really is. We just need to do another ad read, bro. We gotta get that music going, Roberto.
I know.
So do you rely on big, woke corporations or corrupt medical establishment to keep you healthy? I hope not. Why would you trust the same globally owned corporations to keep your pet healthy? It's time we stop relying on them for anything. They hate us, want to keep us sick, and just want our money. We at Rumble started Positive Health because pets are an extension of our family. It matters that they get clean, nutrient-filled, vitamin-rich superfoods to stay healthy and happy. That's why we created a range of superfood supplements, waffles that your pets will love, packed with natural, healthy ingredients that promote better digestive support, bone health, vision, and immune strength. They're also rich in anti-inflammatories, vitamins, and minerals essentials for your furry family members. So head on over to positive.com right now to check out our superfoods and other products. Use code STUDIO to save 15% on your first subscription order.
Hell so yeah. I will be going to that website because I got 2 dogs and I love them. So I'm going to be purchasing some stuff for them.
Yeah, let me put that QR code on the screen so you can scan that code and get 15% off your first order.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
I'm on it now, boys.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show for tonight. Go to fightbookmma.com for all your latest combat sports news from around the world. We are pumping out articles like there's no tomorrow. So go check it out. Please go and follow and subscribe to Rumble.
Yes, please.
Our Rumble channel. We need to grow that channel. We are getting away from YouTube. We are going to push Rumble like crazy.
Yeah, scan that QR code in the upper left. Our Rumble referral. If you don't have a Rumble account, scan that QR code. It helps us out, gains followers, and helps us, get some money. So help us out. Sign up, like, and subscribe to our channel, our Rumble channel. Every Friday, 8 p.m. we upload a replay of tonight's show. So if you missed tonight's show live, you get to watch it again tomorrow night on Rumble. Yeah, special shout out to Miranda Maverick again.
Yes.
Visit her website, Maverick Adventures, prowlerpickles.com or fearthemaverick.com for her merch. The pickles are great. The honey, I'm telling you, that's where it's at, man.
Hey, I just ordered the spicy pickles and the flowered honey that you got.
It's good, dude. It's good.
It's not expensive either.
It's not.
No,
it's not.
it's
That's
not.
that's a great thing.
It's like $36 shipped. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I'll place mine tomorrow. So, right on. Well, that's it for tonight, fellas. Have a good night. Enjoy the fights. Everybody, thank you for your support. We'll see you next Thursday.
Peace.